हेलो एवरीवन। आज हम बात करेंगे रेंटिंग वर्सेस बाइंग अ हाउस। माय नेम इज सीए Bhuvnesh Goyal. I am a practicing chartered accountant. I have passed my CA exams in November 2015. My practice area is business advisory, taxation, company laws, startup consultancy, auditing, and financial advisory. So renting versus buying, one of the biggest decision to be made in today's time. So these are certain factors which are needed to be considered before proceeding any further. So in what cases you should always go for renting? These are certain cases. If you are new in the city, if you are in a job which involves frequent transfers, today's tech jobs, consultancy jobs required frequent transfers to Pune, Bengaluru, US, UK, and you are not able to settle somewhere on a particular in a particular city, or you are army personnel, or you are in a job which requires frequent transfers from one place to another. If you are already having a parental house in hometown and you are planning to shift there after your retirement, if you are willing to take chances in a business, you want to start a business and invest the capital you have in the particular business. In all other cases, always go for buying, nothing doing. You would be having a great wealth while buying a house. If you are taking a period of 30 years from now on, always buy a house in cases other than these. Now let's see certain figures which would convince you that yes, buying a house is always the best idea in all the cases other than these. So let's see certain figures. These are the figures. We have bifurcated five category of income people who are making 15,000 rupees per month. Category B, people making 24,000 rupees per month. Category C, people making 50,000 rupees per month. Category D, people would making 1 lakh rupees per month, and category F people making 1,50,000 rupees per month as their income. So we would be, for the simplicity of the video, would be taking category C people's example, although the same concept applies to everyone. So suppose a person is making 50,000 rupees per month as their income. His annual income is 6 lakh rupees. Her affordable rent is 15,000 rupees. How did we figure it out? We figure it out is as 30% of her income if she is living in a metropolitan city or tier 1 or tier 2. The usual rent is 50,000, 15,000 rupees that's usually being paid by that particular person. Cost of property one is living in, assuming, and it's normally in a general practice, 4% is the amount of rent a person pays on a particular house. So 45 lakhs must be the cost of the particular property in which she is living. Now, in today's scenario, the home loan interest is going on 7%. These are certain assumptions which we are taking. Interest on fixed deposit 7%, annual inflation 7%. We have assumed these figures that these would be constant over the period of 30 years in India from now on, but that is not practical. These figures would fluctuate over the period of time, but in the end, if you figure it out, in the end, these will be the average prices. Sometimes it might go to 8%, 9%, 10%, and sometimes it would be 5%, 4%, 3%, making it 7%. We have also assumed that the rate of rent would increase at the rate of 7% per annum. So let's see, if you take a property on rent, then what would be the scenario? Over the period of 30 years, category A people would have been paying 16 lakh 20,000. If we talk about category C people, they would have ended with paying the rent of amount rupees 54 lakh. Now this 54 lakh is already being adjusted with the 7% inflation and 7% increment per annum in the rent amount. These are the present value figures. So nothing doing. So the category C people earning 50,000 rupees per month have to pay 54 lakh rupees as rent over the period of 30 years. If we see the cost of property is 45 lakhs, if the same property is bought by the same person, then the EMI which needed to be paid is 29,938 rupees, whereas per month rent is 15,000 rupees. So the person need to increase the amount which needed to be paid for the housing. The gap is basically the repayment of the loan. Rest is the interest part. So if we say The person is ready to pay 29,938 rupees as EMI, then the total payment would be this, the total interest amount would be this, total present value of the interest would be 31 lakh 35,904 rupees. So let's go to the decision very quickly. For example, the person is making 50,000 rupees as the category C. Person is making 50,000 rupees per month as his income. He is paying 15,000 rupees as rent. Another 14,938 rupees we have taken for the simplicity, equivalent to the installment amount. That's 29,938 rupees. We suppose this amount is invested in fixed deposit, which is a usual practice in case you are taking property on rent. Then in that particular case, if you have to pay 54 lakh rupees over the period of 30 years, and this would be the value, that's 53 lakh 77,899 rupees would be the amount of your fixed deposit at the end of 30 years. But my friends, if the same person had bought the property, he would have paid 29,938 rupees per month as EMI. The same amount here, including FD and rent, the same amount is paid as EMI. The value of the property at the end of 30 years, if it grew at the rate of 20%, if you go with the data, the last 30 years data, if you have invested in a real estate which is in a good location, you have worked out properly, then it would have grown at the rate of 20% per annum, or 15% per annum, or 10% per annum, as the case may be. So if it grew with at the rate of 20% per annum, you have taken a right decision. You have bought a house at a very good location, a location which is prospective. Then the value of this particular house is 17 crore 60 lakh 21,540 rupees. Where have what you have gained over here? You have gained only 53 lakh 77,899. If it grew at the rate of 15%, then the value of the house would be 44 crores 52 lakh 81,956 rupees. If it grew only at the rate of 10%, that is very unrealistic figure. Then also it grew, it would be the value of the house would be 1 crore 9 lakh 22,681 rupees at the end of 30 years. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine any real estate? Or everyone can imagine. Can imagine if you have purchased a property of rupees 45 lakhs after the end of 30 years, the value of the property, but the value of the house remains same. That's 45 lakhs. It is not possible. It is capital. There is a demand and supply concept as far as the real estate is concerned. It is always going to appreciate over the period of 30 years, over the period of time. So, my friends, if you want the only decision, if you go through all these details, if these are not the scenarios that you are new in the city, there are frequent transfers, you are already having a house, the rental house, and you want to shift over there, and you want to make some money and make some take some chances in business where you think that you would be able to make more than 20% returns per annum in the particular business, then yes, renting is the best option. Otherwise, go for the house, go for buying the house, buy the house, and live happily. The only disclaimer over here is whenever you are going to buy a house should be bought with proper study in a proper manner. The house should be bought. The house should be bought at a location which is very prospective and which would give you a long lasting return over the period of 30 years. It should not be a house which would become the value of zero. Like for example, you have bought a house in a particular building, and that particular building falls due to XYZ reasons, the building was not of a very good quality, and after 30 years, the building collapses and the value of your investment becomes zero. So don't do that. Buy a house with a prospective approach, which have potential to make you wealthy. The most simple way is buying the land and construct a house. The land's value never depreciates. This is it. Thank you. My name is CA Bhuvnesh Goyal. Bye bye.